Lifestyle Live. Come and see, you'll agree. There's a positive energy. Lifestyle Live.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
Tap, breathe, process your emotions, and love yourself. On this week's Lifestyle Live podcast episode, she is a life and spiritual coach and meditation teacher with 16 years of experience working with clients around the world. Kourtney Kardashian, anyone? I chat with Ryan Haddon about creating a positive mindset, staying present, and how a simple tapping exercise could make all the difference. This is the Lifestyle Live podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
Well, she has 16 years of experience with clients around the world, including Kourtney Kardashian and her website, Poosh. That's pretty cool. She is here to help us deal with our emotions, stress, and gratitude. We are welcoming Ryan Haddon, life and spiritual coach and meditation teacher. Good morning to you, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, you've been doing this for quite some time. I'm always so curious, what sparked your interest and what led you to sort of this healing toward other people?
You know, I think we've all chased rainbows and illusions all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think when we finally get that we are our own solutions, and then when we want to reach for tools to self-soothe, tools to manage life and our emotions, I think when we all get to that place, we're like, I need more in my toolbox.
I need more.
So that happened to me many years ago. And so I started gathering these tools and working with these great practitioners and finding all these ways to really up-level my own life. And then I wanted to offer that up to other people too.
And I think that's what everybody wants and needs right now. I think as we grow older, at least I have noticed with myself that you just want to focus on you, right? And what makes you happy and how to deal with emotions and how not to bury them, which is what leads me to the first point, because you say tapping for emotional clearing in the body. I've heard of this before, but I want you to explain it to me and how it can really help so many of us.
Well, tapping, as you mentioned, is called the Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT. And it's a melding of positive psychology or modern psychology and the meridian points, so Chinese acupressure. So we have these meridian points, these energy centers on our body. And in tapping, we touch on those points specifically. There are 9 of them. And while we tap on those points, we repeat what's true for us in that moment. And as we're doing this, we can change our feeling or move into alignment around our feeling. And it really is a great modality. They've used it for PTSD. They've used it for war veterans who've come back. They've used it for lowering blood pressure and just really calming the nervous system. So it's very powerful.
Can you give me an example? Because I would love to hear this from you and how you tap your fingers like that. Give me an example, perhaps, of how this would work, what we would say.
So you might touch on, this is where it starts. This would be the establishing point. You touch on this karate chop point. You just tap with light pressure with your dominant hand and 2 fingers. And touching here, and you'd say what's true for you. I am so angry right now. I feel so much anger going through my body.
So even letting out the negative.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. We're claiming it. We're speaking our truth. And you're touching this point. So it helps to alchemize that feeling in your system. So we're saying, I'm so angry, but even though I'm so angry, I love and accept myself completely, right? We're accepting ourselves right where we are. And then we move into this next point right between the brows. And we just keep moving through these points, speaking that truth. I feel all this anger in my body, all this anger that I don't know how to process. And you just keep moving down under the eye, under the nose, and you just keep speaking that truth, how it's bubbling up in your body. I'm steaming mad right now, under the arm and the top of the head. So you move through these 9 points and you just keep saying what's true. So you don't have to invent the wheel here. You're just getting real with yourself. And there comes a point when you're moving through that. That was one cycle. You might want to do 2 or 3 of those. And then you start to find, maybe I can see this in a different way. Maybe I can allow all these feelings to move through my body and give myself permission to feel all of it.
I like that.
As we do that, it starts to we start to regulate. We start to feel that shift in our own bodies, and just keep at it, just keep trying it. And there's actually a tapping app that you can download called the Tapping Solution app. And there are different scripts there that you can move through for anxiety, for fear, for fraught relationships, through anything at all. And
isn't there something with it too, with the tapping motion? I would say there's something with that. I think maybe that's, I know, people tap their feet, but some people have that, right? Is there something in that motion that
I think we know that that's just a soothing, maybe it's like a heartbeat. Maybe it's something that we do. And when you touch those specific power points on the body, it's very soothing.
Well, just I think of it.
If you don't have the words and you just want to tap like that, it'll be okay. Just keep breathing.
I love this because it gives us permission to let this out and not constantly keep this inside, which I know that can do damage. But with the tapping, it reminds me, because I'm a mother, and it reminds me of like the babies, that soothing tap, that consistent motion. And we still need that, I feel like, as adults. And you have a tendency to think, I'm good, I'm this and that. But there is something to the power of that, I guess you could say.
There is. And children love tapping.
Yeah.
You can teach this to your children. It makes sense to them. They know it. It feels good to them, and it's calming. So you can teach them how to be with their feelings, to allow their feelings to move through them. And it just meets them right where they are. So we're not trying to create a more positive feeling. We're not doing that. We're just being with what is. And that's true.
Oh, we're being with what is. And you're allowing yourself to feel what is actually happening, as opposed to being dismissive and just pushing it off. Like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Positivity.
Oh, I really
I'm so happy. Wow. I'm so spiritual. Like, that is not.
Like, you're not helping.
That
is not helping. Like, please be real with me right now. That is not helping. I just need to feel in this moment. I need to be mad. I need to be angry. And I think we all feel that sometimes, right? You need to let it out. You need to feel it.
Yes. Or scared or frustrated or disappointed or heartbroken, whatever those things are. But then we have to have outlets to be able to feel our feelings in a constructive way.
Right. It's so interesting too, because you also mention gratitude, which I think is always good, like writing down things that you're grateful for, leading to that positive mindset. But you also talk about reducing stress, perhaps with the way you breathe as well. I mean, simple things that we can all do just to calm ourselves down.
That's right. The gratitude cannot be underestimated. Everyone knows gratitude is a vibration. It's a frequency within the body. When we're grateful, we can't be disappointed or upset or angry, because it's really, it's an absolute mood. So to curate that, I really recommend keeping a gratitude journal. Write 10 things down. I know that seems really ambitious, but write 10 things down that you're grateful for every day. And you'll go through the usual, which are, I'm grateful for my family, for my health, for my abundance. But then try to find those subtle things when you make that list daily, of someone holding the door for you, of having a perfect latte. And what that does is it creates a lens of more gratitude on your day to day, on the ground, while you're living your life. And that changes your mood. It changes how you relate to people. So that's a really practical way.
And seeing the little things, like you said, on an everyday basis that you may not even take a second look at, you may not even think twice about, which I think is really great. Talk to me about the way that we breathe too. You say that there are a couple of different exercises that can sort of give us that dose of calm.
Yes. There's the 4-7-8 breath work, which is very simple and it's easy to remember. So it's breathing in for 4 for the count of 4, holding for 7, and exhaling on 8. And doing that, it just regulates the nervous system. It balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It does so much good for us. And when we have these techniques that we've curated that we can use in the moment, it's really helpful, instead of going off on a tangent, instead of allowing us to get swept away. With
I love those. And especially when it comes to kids too, I think that's something that they can learn in those early ages and, use as they get older. The next one, and speaking of that, you say self-love practice, how to move into acceptance around the most unlovable parts of yourself, because a lot of times we are our own worst critics, which can be really difficult.
It is. Watch how we speak to ourselves. That really can change so much of our lives. Watch how you speak on a daily basis when you encounter disappointment or failure or loss or upset. This is what's that inner climate that you're curating all the time? Be kind, be loving, give yourself a lot of room, have compassion. You're doing your best. And that's, sometimes it sounds like very trite, but it really, it creates the the quality of our life, the way that we speak to ourselves. We're our own best ally, our own, worst enemy, as you said. So we really want to focus on that. And it does change. Everything around us has to calibrate accordingly.
It really does. This reminds me so much how as parents, we are such a teacher, I guess, to our children. And I have an 8-year-old daughter who's almost 9. And I see even at her young ages, she'll get frustrated with something and I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, whoa, Avery, we do not talk to ourselves like that. But I think I'm going to go home and I'm going to use some of what you said is, I want you to tell me 3 things like that you love about yourself, because I think especially as women, as girls, we have such a tendency to point out what's wrong with us. Right. As opposed to what's right, or what we're doing wrong, or what we don't have, or what we don't look like, as opposed to what we do.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we all battle, don't we?
Yes, it's true. Let's highlight the good. There's so much good. And we're all working with these character challenges that we have to varying degrees. So it's just knowing no one's got it figured out. Yeah. We're all just supporting each other, especially as parents. We're just trying to help each other our children have tools to manage their feelings, and there's no perfect way to do it. So
Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
You have so many wonderful words to way that we're able to process things. And I'm going to use so many of these myself. Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with or to add just about the simple things that we can do to help our happiness?
We can't underestimate the power of having these tools I talked about in your arsenal of how you manage your life and your feelings, and to be able to anchor into yourself that it's a safe place to really find refuge, a place to really calibrate. And so if you don't have those skill sets, pick them up. And if not these tools that we talked about today, find others. Because these things weren't necessarily taught to us. And so we have to learn them. And let's be kind. Let's be give ourselves a lot of room as we walk our path on this journey home.
Oh, I'm telling you, everybody, give yourself some grace. As Ryan says, not a one of us have it all figured out. So there you go. Ryan Haddon, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for giving us such wisdom. I think so many people are going to be able to take these tools and apply it to their daily life. We appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Amelia. Take care.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at lifestylelive.tv.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart.